Washington have both been found guilty of murder. This in connection with the 2002 shooting death of the hip-hop legend, which prosecutors say was revenge for a failed drug deal.
Fox Eye's Antoine Lewis is live in downtown Brooklyn with the latest reaction to this verdict. Antoine.
Natasha, the jurors sent a note to the court around 2:40, and the verdict was read less than an hour later. Guilty charges for both defendants, Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr., for the 2002 death of Jason Mizell, also known famously as Jam Master Jay of Run DMC fame. Jordan Jr., incidentally, was the godson of Jason Mizell. Now, here's what happened in the courtroom when the verdict was read. Both defendants grumbled underneath their breath, something about them being innocent. It was a little hard to actually hear it clearly, but that's what we were able to ascertain. Family members then started saying their displeasure, voicing their displeasure. Marshals came into the courtroom just to make sure things did not get out of hand. There was a slight tussle with one relative, one family member, but again, nothing substantial spilled over. Ronald Washington and Carl Jr., again, as Natasha pointed out, found guilty of murder while engaged in narcotics trafficking, as well as firearms-related murder. Now, deliberations actually began last Thursday. The jury was off on Friday. They resumed yesterday and then again today. Slight drama behind the scenes because yesterday a juror asked to be removed from it, so an alternate was then put in place, which basically means that the team more or less had to start all over again to some degree, but they worked through lunch today. Now, the burden of proof was clearly on the prosecution, and again, we wanted to let you know right now, coming up, you're going to be hearing from two people. First, the U.S. attorney for this district that was in charge of this case, as well as a relative who was in the courtroom of Jason Mizell. Take a listen to both.
Now, it's taken more than 20 years. But today, a jury in this courthouse found Carl Jordan Jr. and Ronald Washington guilty of murder while engaged in a drug trafficking conspiracy and firearm-related murder. They will be justly punished. Now, there's a message to be heard loud and clear from this verdict. No matter the passage of time, be it a day, be it a week, a month, a year, or even 2 decades, as it was in this case, justice will be served.
You were here every day. Was there one particular testimony that you found really hard to just hear that just really took you back places you didn't even want to go? And you can speak from your heart.
Well, I think that probably for me, just looking at my cousin's body, the pictures, there's nothing that I heard that really disturbed me. I think what probably disturbed me more than anything else is to look, but this is the first time that I've ever seen, those pictures. So that's probably what bothered me the most.
Those pictures he's talking about, of course, evidence, photos of the scene that night. Now, there was no DNA evidence in this case. There was no surveillance video, which is, again, why the burden of proof was on the prosecution. The jurors had to rely on eyewitness testimony. Again, you're talking about testimony from 2002, some 22 years ago, which is also what the defense would use as they tried to discredit the witness testimony, saying that it was too old to be 100% accurate because the crime had happened so long ago. Nonetheless, guilty verdict for both is what the jury reached. Now, Jason Bryant is the third suspect who will be tried separately in this matter in January, we understand. Now, defense attorneys in this case actually imply that he was, in fact, the true shooter. But again, that's a separate matter that's coming up. Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr., again, facing 20 years to life. There are plans to appeal. That was also revealed in court today. I'll have another report coming up at 6. This is the very latest from now. We're in Brooklyn. We'll send things back inside to you.
All right,